Football fans, SFL aficionados, dedicated one and all, come to the church, come to the cathedral. It's football time. The Pittsburgh Riverhogs are hosting the LA Lycans as we look to set ourselves up for a tightly contested battle. I am Alex West, and with me here in the booth is DJ Kilgannon. And DJ, my man, what are you looking for in today's square matchup?
You know, Alex, I'm looking for a very tough battle by a scrappy team that's trying to get back into the hunt in Los Angeles. They're in a very, very stacked West Division, and they're looking across a team in Pittsburgh that is second in the North. They have been on a tear lately, winning their last 5 games straight. We know Pittsburgh wants to run the ball. Can LA stop it? Can they move the ball? We're going to find out.
A big question to ask definitely is, can you stop that attack? But it's so effective and a rushing attack, second in the league that Pittsburgh has.
Yep.
And you kind of scratch your head, you know, some of it is, is this just a matter of them missing their former leading wide receiver, Connor Weston? Is it that much of a void without him? Or have they truly found a new game plan and identity that's allowed them to shift? Because Mike Churchill is number one in the league in yards, but he's not number one in terms of carries, and he is number one in terms of TDs. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, certainly not, especially when you're averaging just under 5 yards a carry. A lot of times to tell if a back is just getting too many looks to get that many yardage is by looking at the yards per carry. You know, you look at the numbers being around 3.5, looking at the lower side, but Churchill's is well above the average, 4.4 being the average, and Churchill's above that, so.
Loving that. 4.7 gets you a first down on time every time. And we have ourselves game feed, live action, ready to go. Teams on the field. LA in their slate grays as they are visiting the team. And look at those sharp, crisp cheddar yellows. I do honestly love the look of these Yinzers. Nothing to complain about it. Black and yellow has always been clean. But
it sure has.
But Riverhogs overall, more than what's cleaner than their uniform is their record. They are 5-2, so they are the heavy favorite trying to defend home turf against the 1-5 Lycans. And I truly feel that you can't get more intimidating than looking at the fact that they have averaged 34, or the Riverhogs are averaging 35 points a game at home, rounded to the nearest hole. It is going to be an intense shootout, I think. But we'll see how they manage to move the ball.
It's going to be rough, especially against the Pittsburgh defense. When you look at it statistically, they're top 4 in yards allowed, only allowing 278 per game. Passing yards are also top 5, and then top 6 in rushing.
And kick is away, up and out of there. So we are getting to see Pittsburgh with the ball to start in this instance. We'll introduce the Pittsburgh offense, lit under center by Ace Fennick. Backs Mike Churchill, BB Belitz, fullback Keith Wheeler. Receiving corps Deuce Fennick, Ziggy Chronic, Doug Britton. Tight ends Ben Harrison and Levy Lease. Offensive line Landon Stone, Taylor Minner, Rachel Minner, and Bruce White. Split back formation for the Riverhogs. Hand up the gut, hurdling, broken tackle, pushing forward. An authoritative 8-yard run to set the tempo.
Yeah, it's a great way to start. We know they want to run the ball. Mike Churchill in a terrific block there right up the middle. He gets to hurdle over, doesn't get touched until the incoming linebacker gets a hand or two on him and eventually drags him down. If he can continue that consistently, it's going to be rough defensive sledding for LA.
Honestly, it's impressive how much push this line gets with only 4 subscribers. Look at him go up the gut this time. 2 yards gained, only needed, and Belitz gets him. 1st and 10.
Yeah, when you look at the touches for Pittsburgh, it may seem like Belitz is kind of just like Churchill's tired, get him in there, but Belitz holds his own. Top 15 in the league in rushing yards, but only top 20 in carries.
Weak eye formation, 2 receivers to the left. Fennick with his first throw of the game, over the middle. Oh, deflected. There was a defender there waiting. Looked like that was Devontae Moore on the breakup.
Yep. Yeah, Devontae Moore coming into this week with 5 pass breakups. Haven't seen an INT out of him yet, but he is tremendous when it comes to man-up corner coverage. We saw a great display of it there, being able to keep track of the ball in air very well.
Now behind the times, 2nd and 10, ace formation, 4 receivers, intercepted, and going the other way. Could we see a pick 6? The linebacker's moving to the edge, the 20-yard line. He gets escorted out of bounds, but what a start for the Lycans.
Yeah, Greg Ward, the outside linebacker, a very heads-up play from him. We're going to get another look at it here. You're going to see him dropping back into the zone coverage, playing the levels concept to perfection. He shades slightly towards the bottom receiver so that the QB's eyes have to shift to that top receiver, and he tries to attack it. That's when the linebacker jumps on it, catches his eyes, and then just makes a play on the ball.
Couldn't ask for much better field position for your first drive of the game. Sully Richardson under center. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to introduce this offense before they do something about it. So let's just talk about a split back offense. Receivers going from right to left, so there's one on either side. Sully surveys the field. Snaps the ball, rolling to his right. Passing down the field, up the seam, looking for the tight end. Nothing doing. Take a moment here just to try and introduce the rest of the Lycans. Halfbacks Darius Aniquez and Ace Ketchum. Fullbacks Tom Thickey and Dan Curtis. Receivers Bubba Tree, Joseph Bodette, LZ Pryor, Chris Lee. Tight ends Adam Grabowski and Jack Flash. Offensive line Orin Wildies, Bob Witoska, Damian Robichaud, Hunter Witoska, and Alteus Wildies. Split backs, spread formation, receiver in motion. 2 on the right, 1 on the left. Dime look, perhaps. Blitz coming up. It's a handoff of the gut. Stuffed.
That was Tom Krieg. And one thing that I love about the Riverhog defense that they do so well is getting their defensive back involved in stopping the runs. Their top 2 leading tacklers being their safeties, they're great at making sure their defensive backs keep an eye on the running back in case of a run.
Empty backfield. Sully looking to throw. Pedaling to his right. Fires. End zone. No! It's out of the back. They say he couldn't get both feet in. Incomplete. 4th down. Forced.
Let's get a much better look at it. Yeah, a terrific. I mean, great call. Was certainly well far out of the back of the end zone. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. The linebacker was there to make a play on the ball. If you that was Kane Vasquez actually who was there in coverage. If you throw that one any shallower, a defensive back of his caliber is going to take that the other way. You placed it where you could, just a little bit too late.
Sometimes it's a game of inches, and about 1 inch to get a foot in bounds would have made the difference, and instead they have to settle for 3 here. LA taking the lead off of an interception that happens almost immediately, but not able to capitalize with a touchdown despite the short field. Now we're going to have to reset. LA will kick off after only a minute 36 total off the clock here.
Curious, Alex, that was a 4-play, 0-yard drive that still resulted in points. I'm curious how often that happens. Not very, I can imagine.
It'd be a fun stat to go through as Churchill takes those out to the 29-yard line. I'll say this much for sure. That is not a drive you see often, and not a stat line you see often. All credit to Greg Ward with that interception, which completely snuffed out what was looking to be a decent opening drive, at least, with some authoritative running early. Now they're going to have to shake it off and start again. Defense for the Lycans that we'll introduce coming up after this play. Split backfield with a spread concept look. 2 receivers to the left of Fennick. He surveys a nickel look. He'll roll to his left. Plenty of people downfield. He looks for the check down route, and that gets broken up and almost taken the other way.
Yeah, that was Monte Wyatt kind of playing a soft flat over there on that top side of your screen, defending what was a very short pass attempt. It seemed like that was almost a designed attack just to try and get some yardage to get momentum to start your set of downs.
Same formation, but the receivers flipped this time. Nickel front again for the Lycans. Rolling to the left once more. Pressure's coming. Firing downfield. There's a man who had a defender draped all over him. Nothing doing. No way to get it. Ziggy Fronick, frustrated visibly. 3rd and 10 now. And it's going to be a question of which receiver is Ace going to be looking to pick up a first down. 4 out there, 1 back in the backfield, a dime concept, LA showing man coverage. Doug Britton in motion. Rolling to his left is Finnick. Has time. The pressure is coming. Firing. Intercepted again. LA cannot stop ball hockey. Tackles broken. Shimmying through. And this time it's another defender. This time it's Mike Scott getting in on the action, taking it to the 24-yard line.
Wow, got to give that gentleman a rep on offense after that. Ran the route for the receiver. Dip, duck, dive, and dodged all the way through those defenders on what should have been a tackle shortly after the pick. Great awareness there and ball carrier vision by the corner. And wow, I mean, just played perfectly off the inside hip. It's almost like that defender knew the ball was coming his way the entire time.
Sully Richardson with a chance at redemption here. I formation look for the Lycans. Now from the 25-yard line instead of inside the red zone. Pass coming. They'll take the short route, and that's underneath, but stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Tom Krieg laying a man out. Oh, no! Darius Iniguez is on the turf.
Yeah, you hate to see that. Darius Iniguez, of course, the bell cow for Los Angeles. Over 100 carries coming into this week. Just shy of the top 10. Hopefully, we see him come back into the game healthy. He did go off the field on his own fruition, so that is always a good sign.
Ace Ketchum trotting in to take his place as Dan Curtis is now lined up at fullback position, 2nd and 9. Spread concept. Looking like a 4-3 nickel, perhaps. Up the gut it goes, and that's a thundering fullback run that gets the most offense LA has seen today.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the same thing. Dan Curtis taking that one right up the middle and barreling over Doug Day. But, I mean, it forces 3rd and short. Your playbook's completely open. Looks like they're content running the ball again, though.
Oh, no, it's trick and mirrors. It's going to be a pass this time, and maybe they should have settled for the run because Pittsburgh wasn't fooled. The pressure wasn't coming. They stayed home and disciplined. Now they're going to settle for 4th down again. One more chip shot. Going to ask John Smith to make his 2nd field goal of the day. Little chip shot. Smith bends it from left to right. Up and good. So LA, despite having single-digit offensive yards, has 6 points on the board. And Pittsburgh has 10 yards total for nothing.
Yeah,
what game are we watching?
Yeah, it's so odd. I mean, we've seen 4 drives. We have not seen a completed pass yet. And these two teams combined don't even have 20 yards. I mean, this is just odd. But we're still seeing points get put up. John Smith, early candidate for player of the game if this keeps up.
Especially with a booming kick like that. Look, John, we know you did kick the longest. You do have the current longest field goal in the SFL at 50 yards. I get it, bud. You're 11 of 11 now. You don't got to be trying to kick it through the uprights. This isn't Canadian football. That's not a rouge. Weak eyes set for Pittsburgh. Finnick looking to pass. Oh, deflected at the line of scrimmage. The defensive lineman gets his hands up.
Yeah, another incompleted pass. Huge play by the defensive line. I love whenever a defensive lineman gets involved like that. It just shows true awareness. If you know you're not going to win your matchup or know you're not going to get to the quarterback, why not try and make a play on the ball in the air? Did so there for a big one.
That was Ace Blackwell getting his hands up. Finnick in time in the pocket, throwing up the middle, and there's a completion. Finally, some downfield action. Doug Britton with the reception, and that will move the chains. Pittsburgh with a pulse.
That is Ace Finnick's first pass of the game out of 7 that has been caught. But on another note, it is the first pass of the game that he's thrown that has not gone to Ziggy Hronick. All first of his 6 passes went towards Ziggy's way. That one towards Doug Britton's direction, and it gets hauled in.
4-3 front for the Lycans as they try to contain another split back formation. Pittsburgh sending a receiver in motion. Deuce Finnick at the top of the formation. Run up the gut, but nothing doing. Great response by the linebackers.
Yeah, that was Earl Fields, the 4th, laying a huge hit. It was a great hole by the offensive line, but Fields just coming in as the unblocked linebacker. That's a situation where you just hope your ball carrier wins a one-on-one. Certainly didn't in that instance.
Pass here for Fennec with all kinds of receivers, and he fits a window in there to Doug Britton. The leaping defender tries to break up the pass, but couldn't get to it. Britton hauls it in despite the safety hit.
You know, and I think this is maybe something they need to do going forward. A little bit more targeting Doug Britton instead of Ziggy. It seems like so far this defense has Ziggy's number a little bit, maybe game planned on him being the catalyst of their offense, and so far their hunch was correct, and they're doing well stopping it.
Rolling to the left is Fennec with time. The pass protection is there, and look who it is again. Doug Britton moving the chains.
I mean, in that same sentiment, clearly Pittsburgh had a play. Talk about adaptation. The way, I mean, eventually you're going to learn, throwing 6 straight, seeing them all fall, 2 of them going back the other way, that eventually, you know what, maybe we should try throwing it to somebody else. The 3 after those first 6 have all gone Doug Britton's way and have all been completed.
Now with new life and across midfield, finally actually moving effectively from the 29-yard line, Fennec surveys with a spread split back concept. Back to pass, all kinds of time. The pocket is holding. He throws down. Oh no, it's intercepted again. LA just finds it. Oh my goodness.
Wow, and again, Mike's got that play even more athletic than the first one. We're going to get another huge look at it here. You can see him stalking back, playing an underneath zone route, but then he sees the QB's eyes commit towards Ziggy, sees the throw being made, makes a play back towards the football, and intercepts it. That's another pass towards Ziggy and another interception.
Now, this is the big trill test. Can LA do anything with this interception when they're on their own side of the field? It's a true offensive test for Sully Richardson to try and put some points on the board. If he can, it's a 2-score ball game. Strong eyes, set, spread. Blitz is coming. Pocket picks it up, but it's almost deflected. Doug Day looking for another interception. He almost had a pick 6. That would have been his 3rd on the season.
Would have been his 2nd pick 6 in 2 weeks as well. Was able to get one last week against the DC Dragons. Got to watch that game and enjoy it live. And again, that would have been another for Doug. That would have been huge if he was able to get another.
I formation this time, more standard look. 2 receivers now. One going from the right side to the left side, so it's 1 on either. 3-4 front from Pittsburgh. They send the house. Pass over the middle, one-handed grab, and that one's reeled in. It's a circus show.
That was 82 for the offense. LZ Pryor, who through these first 6 games of the season for LA has been the 2nd target behind Chris Lee, accumulating just under 300 yards over those 6 games. Hasn't reached the end zone, however.
Split back for LA. They'll do a fullback draw, and this time they managed to get 3 on it. Curtis barreling forward.
So we saw the injury to Iniguez earlier, and it seems ever since then, Alex, that we're seeing them do quite a bit more of these fullback designed runs, and I'm really liking it. I mean, it's producing at least.
Big heavy set look now. Last time we saw this, they went for a pass. Is it another head fake? Pittsburgh thinks they need to cover, and it is a pass, and this one's a real short rink and dink. It goes 4 yards, but that was a very cluttered one.
Yeah, that was Jack Flash's 2nd catch on the season there. Pushing you closer to the sticks, excuse me. Just 3 yards out. Playbook's still pretty open, and again, a heavy set. Will they pass out of it again? They won't.
No, this time they go for the run, and against the 4-3 front, it's not good enough. They can't get the push. Brian Craven arrives to the scene and stops them with a yard short.
Yeah, and we know Ketchum is a solid back out of your backfield, but that might be a moment where you're missing Iniguez, right? And something we did talk about to start the game was the yards per carry on the other side for Churchill, and how that, sometimes you can look at too many carries to inflate your stats a little bit as a huge return is coming. You look at the other side for Iniguez, he's over 100 carries, but when you look at his yards per carry, it's under 3. So maybe that's the other side of the coin that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Could very well be. And yards and get 3 yards. He's
For
still
sure.
on your lead back there. So now let's take a moment and actually introduce this Lycans defense. Their line is Selwyn Lane, Ace Blackwell, Nick Brummer, Bear Winters. Linebackers, Tazzy Blackwell, Brogan Sparraw, Earl Fields IV, and Greg Gordon. As we see a run play to the right side here for Churchill, breaking 1 tackle, picking up about 5. As he's stopped there. Cornerbacks for the team for the Lycans consist of Devontae Moore, Mike Scott, Anthony Wyo. Safeties Monte Wyatt, Eaton Moss, and Ryan Yosef. And of course, we've mentioned their kicker, John Smith. Big eye look here for Pittsburghers. They're looking to smash this football right down LA's throat. But no, it's another pass. They've been doing a lot of that, both teams, and it's anything you can do, I can do better as far as Pittsburgh is concerned. A pass down the field, if only they hadn't thrown those interceptions. This offense is working outside of that one unbelievable stat line.
Yeah, for sure. Ben Harrison running a decent little wheel route there, cutting along the line before making his way forward downfield. And I'm curious as to why they're not running the ball more, Alex. You know, you have a great back tandem in the backfield, and especially after the interceptions you've thrown, why not keep it on the ground?
Well, they have been able to get ahead in a lot of their games because of how stingy their defense is, and their offense has been pretty reliable, excluding this game where Ace Fennick is just having a nightmare. Typically, he's reliable. 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions coming into this one. But now, he just seems to be wheeling and dealing until he misses someone on the underneath route.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, you know, relying on your offense has been great at explosive plays and staying ahead and keeping the lead when you are ahead, so it's easy to stay with that.
Up the gut this time, Blitz getting all the way across the chains before he's even touched, wrapped up, and dragged down. But now, well across midfield is Pittsburgh, threatening again to score, or at least to try to score.
I would love to see them for the rest of this drive keep the ball on the ground until they are literally forced to otherwise. Of course, I'm not a coach. I'm sure they have their game plans and their scripts they have to stick to, you know, that they've gone through in practice, but adaptability comes into play as well.
Absolutely. Adaptability and flexibility. Churchill showing off some flexibility as he shimmies around the lineman to get those extra yards. 5 yards gained on that one before he gets stuffed. I think that was a safety coming down to stop him.
Yep. Yeah, that was Wyo, who came from the defensive back spot, the resident journeyman of the SFL, getting involved in that play in his defensive back spot.
Lots of hands on the ground, and we're seeing a run to the right. Churchill breaks 1 tackle, but can't break the second. That's teamwork and a unified effort by the Lycans linebacking core, hunting like a pack.
That was Brogan Sparraw getting involved in the tackle there. Now, this is an instance where maybe you're forced to pass the ball. Doesn't have to be all the way downfield. You don't need it all. Just need to get past that first down marker.
Respecting the possibility, but Fennick will pass here. Looking over the middle, and he finds his man. Ziggy Chronic finally getting his reception of the day.
Yeah, the first of 8 attempts. Yeah, I mean, my goodness. The coverage was tight, however. It's not an easy catch to make. The defensive back hit him as it was coming in. That's Devontae Moore again, who's been a thorn in the side of Ziggy Chronic this game, if you will, continuing there, laying a nasty hit as the catch was made. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice way to boost your confidence for sure, finally getting one.
Split backs and 3 receivers as they operate from the 21-yard line. A rolling to the left, end zone shot. Chronic too far behind that one. That one, a little miscommunication, I think, on who was supposed to be where when.
Yeah, and probably for the best, Chronic was double teamed on that route. And it looks like Ace threw it to the area of the field where he was meant to be, just couldn't quite get there. Probably for the best, like I said.
Rolling to his right this time is no, it's intercepted again. Every time he gets the momentum going, the Lycans punish him with someone lurking underneath.
Yeah, and that was Anthony Wyo. We've now seen 3 Lycans with interceptions. A great one that was, playing the underneath and just barely able to leap up and make an athletic play on the ball. And that's the QB trying and thinking that the defensive back can't reach it, but he surely proved otherwise.
The home crowd in disbelief, but still backing their defense, who have been very, very stout and not given up an inch of ground to the Lycans offense.
Very soft coverage up top.
It's a run up the gut this time. Lycans trying to force it up the middle, catch him, only able to get about 4, but that's enough if you're looking for a first.
Yep, sure is. And, you know, now into the quarter, of course, LA having the ball.
End of the first quarter, indeed. And LA still has the football, and they are up 6-0, despite what everyone would have thought going into this one. We are in for some fun here. I'm Alex West, he's DJ Kilgannon. Thanks for staying with us here on the Virtual Football Network. Under center, Richardson surveys the field, barking out some instructions. Sending a man in motion. Some pressure looking from the outside linebackers. Pittsburgh looks to send some edge pressure in a 3-4. It's a run up the gut, and Dan Curtis gets a shoulder to his chest for his trouble, but that makes it 3rd and 2.
Some fun stats to look at as far as LA's team goes so far. LA has as many interceptions as this game as they do drives, and they have 2 more interceptions than their offense does catches at all.
Wild. Maybe see if you can get some cornerbacks running routes out there for you.
Right?
Get some two-way players. Shohei Ohtani can hit and pitch. Under center. Now looking to pass is Richardson, who gets his man over the middle. Little short route, but it's enough to move the chains. Lee with the catch.
Yeah, finally getting more involved, and now every completion Sully has made has been to a different target. Of course, getting your main receiver involved there. Chris Lee's been playing at an all-star level. You got to get him a little bit more involved if you keep going to the air.
Another run, Dan Curtis's way up the gut. Brian Craven on this. Johnny on the spot, though, swallows that up for only a gain of 1.
Yeah, Brian Craven. Go ahead, Alex.
Go ahead there. Nah, you got it.
Brian Craven, one half of the Bash brothers. Top 15 in the league in tackles for loss. He's everywhere against the run.
Pressure coming on this one, and yet a completion. It's an extremely quick hitting route. LZ Pryor running that quick curl route just in the nick of time. That's a savvy shot by Sully Richardson down to get that one in the window. Again, a 3-4 look from Pittsburgh. This time it's a run to the right. And there's Ace Ketchum trying to get to the edge, but he gets swallowed up. Is that Doug Day?
It is.
Goodness gracious me. Ooh. They just will not be stopped, those Bash brothers, forcing another very quick end to LA's hopes to make a 2-score ball game happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're just all over the field. LA continues to try to go to the ground. And of course, we mentioned having their lead back out. And really no one else is able to get any traction against a defense that is very, very stout against the run. Previously mentioned, top 5 in that stat.
Folks, whether you're looking for the most up-to-date information on news and happenings in the Burgh, go to One Burgh, Pittsburgh's largest social media network. Tune in on One Burgh's Facebook and YouTube pages and check out the new series, The Incline Show. Fennick looking under center to try and rally the home crowd behind him in this offense and forget about every drive he's thrown so far. Heaves downfield. This man is fearless, and he gets a connection to flip the field. Keith Wheeler, the fullback, doing some dirty dealing on that one.
It hasn't got involved a whole lot in the receiving game as Keith Wheeler. Has only had 2 catches up to this point. That one, I'd imagine, being his longest. And a great spot to get it in, giving Fennick just a little bit of maybe some momentum to build and keep the ball clean as you're now just outside the opposing 40.
Asking Fennick again to throw it. And then he'll run. The pressure's coming. He slides, but not in time. He eats a hit. They peel him off the turf, but he does pop back up. Oof. Clear those cobwebs, young man.
Yeah, Wyo laid into him. He was taking a chance to hit the quarterback regardless of if he was going to slide or not.
One of those where the flag ain't coming, so you may as well make it count. Jumbo set, but Fennick's going to pass again, trying to backpedal. The short routes are there. He goes to the sideline, and that's a tight window to hit Ben Harrison.
Yeah, it sure was. Wyatt was there in fantastic coverage, but his back was to the quarterback. You can see Fennick looking there. Wyatt trailing, not able to turn around and make a play, so he kind of has to jump it where he thinks the ball's going to be. It was kind of in an awkward positioning for both of them, but Britton, a good enough talent to be able to pull that one in.
That was just a tough one to be able to reel in, but he did do it. Now it's going to be a handoff. Now Churchill making some moves, tries a spin move, doesn't fool anyone, but he still manages to worm his way forward for 3. Clock now winding down a bit. They seem to be trying to stabilize.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so. You keep that ground attack going as you get closer to the end zone. It's going to get even harder to pass. So why not just keep it landborne?
Now we're seeing some instances of where maybe they should have, because now they're behind the 8 ball after that incompletion. 3rd and 7 here. At the very least, if they don't throw an interception, commentators curse be damned, they could kick a field goal here and at least get within 3. They'd hate to have to settle for it, though, so they will look to pass here to try and pick up the sticks. Ben Harrison in motion, going from outside to inside. Rolling to his right is Fennick. Time. Finds his man in the open. No defenders next to him, and so why would you not throw to Deuce Fennick there? Perfect chance to pick up and get a first down.
Yeah, for sure. Fennick to Fennick, working to perfection, and it just seemed like just a zone beater. Split off of his defender who was playing on the far right side of the field and split to the middle. Another receiver was crossing at the same time, so the middle inside coverage guy was just a little mixed up, and that's why he was so wide open there.
Pittsburgh with their very first and goal, despite 166 yards of total offense up to now. See what they do with it. Single back set. Looking to Fennick to pass. It's tight conditions, and it's almost intercepted again. What is this game plan? Why is Pittsburgh looking for an air attack in such short situations? They are very much feeling confident in their man under center's ability to bounce back from adversity.
Yeah, I mean, Fennick's kept the ball super clean this season. Second in interceptions coming into the week, but man, the turnover bug has just got in his head.
Looking again, throws to his left side this time, and that's a stone cold hit. That man is down. We have a flag on the field. Could it be PI?
It is. That's rough.
And that will make it 1st and goal now on the 1. Feels like there's no question that you can't be bothered to throw the football from here. Just early of a hit. Oof.
Yeah, just a smidge early.
He might have done better there had he turned his head to play the ball there, but instead, that's an easy one for the ref to call. Goal line on goal line. It's time for a car crash. Who's going to win the battle of the trenches this time? Up the gut. And that's 6 points for Pittsburgh. The home crowd erupts.
Churchill making it 9 on his all-star campaign, as it has been up to this point. I mean, you got to run the ball there. We've seen him want to pass time and time and time and time again. Only a 12 combined rushes, not counting. 12 combined rushes, counting that one from Fennick. So it's great to see now that they're forced to, almost, that they can do it successfully in short down and distances, and finally punching it in after 166 yards.
Taking the lead is Pittsburgh, and this is why LA wanted to get one more score out of those last couple of interceptions, and they couldn't. All that effort, and yet Pittsburgh now has the lead before the half. Folks, you're watching Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN, SFL Week 11 continues today and Monday, while the UFL Conference Finals get going Tuesday ahead of the inaugural UFL Championship game on Friday, October the 3rd. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives on VFN. After a touchback here, LA taking over on the 20. Ball in Richardson's court. This is the first time he's operating from behind all day. Coming out in an I set here. Options, throws over the middle, but there's so many black jerseys in the area, you'd wonder if he's missing something.
Yeah, and that time, I mean, like you said, just throwing it to the wrong guy in that set. It seemed like the pressure was getting to Sully just a bit. Kind of tried to force it to Bubba Tree in the middle of the field on a route that was developed as the others hadn't fully yet.
Well, Brock Busey almost coming away with an interception of his own on that one. Richardson now having a pass on 2nd and 7. Almost intercepted again! This is just getting a little dangerous here. Monte Dubois-Smith, not only does he bat the ball out of the sky, he then lays a bone-crunching hit on the receiver.
Yeah, I mean, double whammy, talk about. You get the pass deflection and you get to hurt the offensive player. I mean, talk about a win-win.
Now a dime odd set for Pittsburgh as they look to defend a 3rd and 10. Richardson with 4 receivers, throws to his right, nothing doing. Even if he made that completion, that was short of the sticks.
It's just a weird play call there, Alex. I mean, you know, you see it from Pittsburgh front. They brought about 5 to blitz the QB there, but it almost seemed like that was a designed play the entire time. It seemed to develop along that right side of the formation. So it kind of seemed like they were going there the entire time. Wasn't really a reaction pass, if you will. That was forced by the pressure.
Breaks a tackle. He breaks another one. He's looking to return. No, they finally bring him down after the 3rd body they throw at him. Sorry to cut you off there, DJ, but Doug was looking to make a run there.
No, he sure was. I mean, had a ton of separation to that right-hand side and brought it just shy of the opposing 40, giving them, again, great field position. And you look at it from their last drive, you know they can score now. You know how to do it. Just keep attacking similarly.
What I would love to see here is if they go to the ground now that they finally have a lead, will they rely on their run game or will they ask to pass again? One receiver going in motion, so it's one on either side. Fennick will pass, looking for the quick hits route and throws it in front of Britton, but too far in front.
Yeah, that one just, like you said, kind of sailed a bit, got a little bit too antsy, waiting for the route to fully get to where it was supposed to be on the field, and you can't do that. You got to start off strong in your set of downs.
Split backs, 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left against a nickel front. Fennick will roll to his right, throws, and there's a Lycan underneath with almost his 2nd interception of the day. Wyo is wanting that one back.
Yeah, sure is. I'd argue Wyo would have been completely gone the other way if he was able to pull that one in. No one in front of him, but green turf. But 2 back-to-back incompletions, and they're going to have to throw again.
Putting a man in motion to have a single back with 4 receivers, 2 on either side of the formation. Dime look. Rolling to his left is Fennick, firing up the seam, and that's incomplete, knocked loose. It was almost a beautiful catch, but a hard hit makes Ziggy Chronic drop it to the turf.
Yeah, and that's been a story we've seen a lot tonight. His 11th target of the game on Fennick's 21 pass attempts. Only 1 has been caught. That's a stat you're not going to see replicated, or that has been replicated anytime soon from Ziggy. He is a much better receiver than the stat sheet is showing at this moment.
Fair catch is called. We've got a game update. Mr. Irvine, what do we have on the other side, Commish?
We got a kind of a shocker, Alex, as Baltimore throws another pick, their 3rd turnover of the game. Nicholas Frossel, Minnesota punches it in on the next play. The Legend are outgaining the Vultures 323 to 130, and they lead 31-14 in the 3rd. Back to you.
Richardson under center, looks to his left, and that one's almost intercepted this time, and it's just getting dangerous for both of these quarterbacks out here. Jermaine Menafield really wanted that one.
Yeah, sure did. Would have gave your offense the ball back, which would have been huge for them. And it seems like both of these teams just so badly want to be pass first, and it's just not really working for them.
Richardson looking to pass again. It's too late to do anything else. He finally finds his man. That's an incredible catch going down the field. And that's the biggest play LA's had. LZ Pryor delivering when needed.
Yeah, I mean, their biggest play by a significant margin. Like you said, didn't even have 28 yards passing before that play. That eclipses that total, and a huge one to bounce back after some very, very insignificant drives up to this point. Hopefully this can be a turning point, but we've seen them play in better field position than this and not be able to convert anything. But maybe as they close into halftime, they'll have some fire under them.
43-yard reception from Pryor. And that's a broken tackle. Richardson feeling the heat, fumbles the ball as he gets hit a second time. And somehow, someway, Ace Ketchum falls on it just in time.
Yeah, I mean, you managed to break the first sack, and then you take off, and then you just get smacked by Doug Day, who's the one that punched that one out. Thankfully, right place, right time for Ketchum. Like you had mentioned, scooped that one out, who looked to be on just a little bit of a hitch route, a safety escape valve, if you will, for Richardson, and certainly played his role well there.
Curtis sent in motion to be an extra tight end. Now pressure coming off the weak side. Intercepted! Pittsburgh finally snags one. And picked up by LA! Folks, break out the big top and get your popcorn. This is a circus.
Oh, that's just so terrible. Tommy Welbrock-Busey able to pull in the interception. And if I'm not mistaken, that was a big offensive lineman who was able to lay the hit on the linebacker and pop it out. Oh, man.
And because of it's a double change of possession, that does reset the downs. 1st and 10 for Richardson, who's breathing a sigh of relief as he's got a second shot, takes it downfield, breaks one tackle, his receiver does, to force his way across the line. Lee trying to reassert some normality in this upside-down bizarro world that we have just entered.
Yeah, I mean, this is an instance of where you just died and got revived by God himself, and you get a second chance at life. LA, after that first play attempt, already getting a first down, is certainly showing that they want to take advantage of the second life they have been given on this drive.
Trying to, at the very least, inching closer. They're within field goal range, technically. A run up the gut for Dan Curtis, but he doesn't even get to the line of scrimmage, being pushed back by 2, and that will make this around, if not the longest field goal that could be an attempt if they're able to hold him here as we reach the 2-minute warning. And folks, as we're seeing, folks, get your heart medications. Thank goodness this isn't Arizona, or else Eddie Gage might be in cardiac arrest right now. Under center is Sully with an I-set spread concept, looking at the 31-yard line. Pressure coming, takes the check down route. Ace Ketchum still the lead back here. No sign of Derricus Iniguez, and he gets tackled behind the line again. So 2 plays since the reset, and both plays have gone backwards.
Yeah, I mean, biggest no-no here is a sack. We haven't seen one the entirety of the game, and you can't let one happen now. Just try and get a few more yards upfield, if not all of the yards.
Looking to run now this time, and dragged down, not able to escape because the line had him contained. There's been Odis Boudreau on that one.
Well, they did the no-no. They let up a sack. Sully was a little bit antsy in the pocket, tried to take off, and just got wrangled down by one of the defensive linemen who was able to make their way through, and now you have to punt. I can't believe it, Alex.
Odette Boudreau, she can pat herself on the back for being the difference maker that defended Pittsburgh's lead with how she came off the block to wrap up Sully Richardson on that one. The clock will tick down, getting it down as close to the play clock as they can before snapping it to leave Pittsburgh with no time on the clock, or at least as little as they can, but they have 3 timeouts. This one will bounce around and come to the end zone, or come bouncing out right in the 18. Whew. 3 timeouts. Weight of the world on your shoulders. Do they ask Ace Fennick to try and extend this lead, or do they just go into the?
I hope not.
Go to the half.
I hope not. With how they've been passing, that could end very poorly and could end for a touchdown in LA's favor if that happens.
They will ask him to do some work here, but he's going to run instead, and he gets dragged down. Both of these quarterbacks feeling the heat. The defensive production on both sides of the ball has been insane today.
Yeah, sure have. And Alex, you know me. You know I'm a gambling man. If I'm saying you need to run the clock out and not try for a big play, then
Yeah.
then you should.
Yeah. You do have a gambling problem, DJ. I know that's why you talk so much crap about Boston's referees. I know.
Sure is.
I have the dirt. I know. I was polite, but I'm going to have you stop questioning my SFLM referees' integrity. Thank you. As we take it to the half. Pittsburgh will not call any of their timeouts because they are content. They're up by 1. 7-6 is the score. Pittsburgh at home. And as we enter halftime, DJ, I feel like I am in the upside down. I'm not in Kansas anymore. What is happening?
Yeah. No, we're looking at this game from just a pitch black room, and it's just not a reality that we're meant to be in. I mean, we're looking at a game where LA hasn't done anything offensively, but has still managed to have 2 scoring drives. And on Pittsburgh's side, has done much more offensively and has only had 1, of course, resulting in the touchdown, which gives them the lead. But man, I don't even know who to give the halftime player of the game to. They'll give it to Doug, who has 4 tackles and a sack. I mean, good enough pick as any, and also a pass deflection to his name. So, man,
it's been all over the place, but for it to be anyone other than a defender would be a disgrace. As we're back here in the third quarter, folks, I hope you're comfortable. I hope you've got your popcorn, or if you spilled your popcorn like DJ did, go to the concessions and get a refill before it's too late. LA is going to take over offensively. It's their ball to start the second half. Pittsburgh will be kicking, flipping the field. As this one is up and away, it will be returnable. Across the 25-yard line, 1 body on the man, and that will go to the 28. Decent return by Bodette.
You know, I kind of got some inspiration from this from Dan Curtis in the chat, but this game is like an ugly dog. It's really, really ugly, but you just can't stop looking at it, right? I mean...
I could describe a few Boston Terriers that way, yeah. Split backs, 2 receivers to the right-hand side for Pittsburgh, or for LA, and the pressure's coming. Oh, no! An absolutely a brutal hit. They're peeling this quarterback off the turf because he just took one to the chin.
And Doug Day was the one who handed it out. I mean, you saw the defensive line kind of shift their way to the strong side of the line and then shoot towards the QB, and shoot they did, and level Sully as well.
That was a very widespread line. Dan Curtis is coming out to be an extra blocker, perhaps, or a receiver. No, he's running a route out there. Passing play for Richardson, who hits his man in stride. What a work. LZ Pryor with the circus catch.
Yeah, we've seen LZ be pretty successful through the air for LA in this one. Has been the bulk of their offensive production in that regard. Leads the team in receptions by a good amount. Has more than anyone else on the team combined, as a matter of fact.
I spread look for LA. Nickel set. Response from Pittsburgh. 4 rushed. So many people in zone coverages. There's a tiny, tight window to fit a football in, and it does get fit in there. Chris Lee with the reception to move the chain. Sully Richardson maybe should look his way some more.
Yeah, I would like to see that, getting your best target involved, but that's like picking a lock. You have the key to do so. You just got to find the right opening. The right opening that time was Chris Lee splitting through that soft part of the zone on your right side.
Nickel again. Strong eye spread, and it is a pass again. Plenty of work for both QBs in this game so far. This one goes downfield, and that's a catch on the seam. These receivers for LA are definitely getting iced down on the sidelines with how many times they're getting hit trying to haul these footballs in.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what I love about Pittsburgh. They have so many hard-hitting defensive backs, and even when you do catch the ball, like you said, it's gonna hurt a lot. But so far in this game, LA is looking like a whole new ball club. Halftime certainly went in their favor if they can keep this up.
Some adjustments made, and the offense is showing real signs of life. Sully Richardson hands it off, and that is Ace Ketchum getting swallowed up in the backfield by one of the 2 Bass brothers, Doug Day.
Yeah, Tokte ate that one up for breakfast and lunch. Had some leftover, so ate it for dinner too. Lost it too. That's really the first big negative we've seen on the drive here for LA. Shake that one off and keep doing what you're doing, because the pass game was really balling out to start this drive.
Look like they will go to the air again. A nickel odd, or excuse me, a dime odd front perhaps. It's going to be 4 on the rush, no 5, and it's a pass at the seam, but there's a safety lurking there, hitting Chris Lee as he tries to haul that one in. 3rd down.
Yeah, that one was just a really risky pass. You had a lot of crosses. You had the seam, which led to a ton of traffic in the middle of the field, and that's what the result was. Just too many black jerseys being in the way for that ball to be able to get in through.
Dime odd look. I'm certain about this one. Only 2 linebackers in the middle. That's 3 receivers on the left, 1 on the right for Richardson with a single back there. It's narrow coverage. It's a 6-man rush. And there's Richardson putting the ball on the turf. And that is so lucky for LA that Wildies was able to launch themselves and fall on it. That was near disaster.
Yeah, I mean, that was very lucky for them. You see the blitzing defensive end again. Who else? Odette Boudreau able to force that fumble. And unfortunately for them, LA is able to scoop it back up. Wildies, like you had mentioned previously, scoops it up and now gives John Smith an opportunity to kick it.
Up and puts it. He tries to bend from left to right, bending it like Beckham, but instead off the post. That is his first miss of the season.
And in a game where...
Oh no, that would have given LA the lead.
It would have. And in a game where your only offense up to this point has been your kicker, the only points you've put up have come from that guy, that's just a rough spot for the first miss to happen in. Oh, man.
It's the worst moment possible to suddenly forget how to draw to the right and instead fading it. This one's a pass roll out to the right for Fennick, who hits his man over the middle. Ziggy Hronic on the logo says, nope, we're not dropping this one.
Yeah, and that's a nice bounce back play. You know, it is just one play, but a catch to Hronic is something we haven't got to say a whole lot in the first half. Only one other time, and when they wanted to get to it so often. A great throw as well. A lot of defenders on there. We had one from behind and a few over the top trying to get a hand on it, but unsuccessful.
Strong wind conditions here really affecting how the football travels through the air, but all the same, Hronic getting into the soft spot of the zone there, taking advantage. Run up the gut for Churchill, or excuse me, Blitz going from the left side to the right side. That's a very forceful run, sweeping out there that picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, did a good job of setting the edge. Blitz, a type of back that is very powerful in running, someone that you like to use in short down and distances, but very successful in an outside run there where he had plenty of room to operate.
Strong eye set, and that's a tight window. Hronic stretching his arms out. How did he do that one? What is that? Give me the replay, please.
And that they will ask and you shall receive, they say. Wow, I mean, just sandwiched between the 2 defenders. Ryan Yosef, the one who had the underneath bit of coverage. Devontae Moore trying to make a play from over the top. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. It seemed like the safety got a little bit too aggressive on trying to play the ball. Maybe that was their weakness there.
Well, it's gotten them 4 interceptions prior to now. It's part of the team identity. Fennick trying to run with this one. Does get 5 yards, eats a hit, but it's hard to blame the safeties whenever they've been seeing so many balls snagged from the air at Fennick's hands. This time, the gamble pays off in Pittsburgh's direction, because that is the most dangerous pass I feel like Fennick has thrown today.
For sure.
Now I formation, jumbo sets. We've got so many hands on the ground. This better be a run. It is. Churchill looking, breaks one tackle, puts a stiff arm out there. Can't quite put him in the dirt, but he does go for extras.
Yeah, they will, and it looks like Pittsburgh is not afraid to run as this half begins, something that I preach so much that I'd like to see them do a little bit more, and it certainly looks like they talked about it a little bit at half, getting their backs more involved, and it continues to work effectively. Another first down gained off of the ground game.
Oh, you can say first down. They got it on the banners or around the side end. Just look for the end zone shot cam and you'll see it. First down. This time a rollout. Fennec.
Oh!
He hits his man, Ziggy Chronic, with the contact.
Talk about a halftime bounce back for Chronic. His next 3 passes to start the half, all completions, catches them all. And that last one, the biggest of the bunch, a beautifully ran corner route. You have the defender, Wayo, playing off of your back. And whenever you're a little bit bigger than the defender, it's going to be hard for them to get out in front and make a play on the ball. And Chronic is talented enough to be able to pull it in through contact, and we just saw it there.
Chronic talented and blessed with his size and frame, boxing out the defender, just like you said, DJ. That's what they teach the wide receivers to do in camps. That's what they teach you to do at the PV level all the way up. Textbook stuff and executing to perfection. Pittsburgh widening the gap, making it it's still a 1-score ball game technically, but now it's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion instead of just anything we'll do.
Yep.
Pittsburgh has to give this one back. The Lycans now forced to respond or really find themselves on the back foot, because as you said coming into this one, Pittsburgh's got an incredible rushing attack, and they're more than happy to lean on it once they feel comfortable.
Yeah, and that's when they'll be at their best, in my opinion, is playing from ahead, far ahead, and that's what we've seen them do a few times throughout the season. That's what makes them so good.
Richardson surveying the field, split backs, 2 receivers to his left, 3-4 look for the Hogs. This one's going to the left side. Dan Curtis trying to pick up something and only 1 yard gained. It's something to really pay attention to, is how the play calling has shifted with the absence of Derek Asinewes.
Yeah, and I think it's only getting better now that the half has subsided. They saw how it was going to play without him, and I think they're going to be able to take that to their advantage. Maybe keep the ball in the air more, they will.
And they will indeed. And that's an incredible catch on the hash mark by our man LZ Pryor, who tries to break 2 tackles, can only get off 1.
And again, all the praise in the world to Pryor, who we had mentioned isn't the lead receiver on this team, but really making their mark on this game. 3 yards short of just a few yards short of that century mark on only 5 catches. Of course, had that huge explosive play earlier in the ball game as well, and they continue to trust him with the rock.
Strong set against a 3-4. Lycans looking to keep the defense guessing. This time it'll be a run to the right side. Shimmy, a shutter step, and there's some 4 yards gained for Ace Ketchum. Folks, if you aren't aware, it's no surprise. The VFN is live again. Please support our hardworking crew by smashing the like button, subscribing, and commenting on this video. It really helps the channel out. And you'll see a run to the right side.
Oh!
Fumble on the play. You can't miss this kind of excitement. Odette Boudreau scoops it up and is forced out of bounds. Big girl does the work, but look who forced that fumble.
Yeah, I mean, the sensational team football. We're going to get another good look at the hit there. Amonte Dubois-Smith, and I got to say, I watched him in chat call out a forced fumble earlier, and he did it. So that's incredible. And
Folks,
Boudreau
smash the like button because of seeing the future. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss these live streams, highlights, or podcasts. Thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. As Fennec puts Keith Wheeler in motion to give himself 4 receivers. Snaps, looks, over the middle, hits his man. That's Doug Britton on the reception, moving the chains, and that'll put Pittsburgh inside the red zone.
It sure will. And, that play is going to give you a lot of momentum if you're Pittsburgh. A beautifully thrown play, and wow, you saw the defender in the middle of the field got kind of caught up on that cross route that happened under the middle, and that cleared up the one over the top, and that's just a perfect cross concept there.
Now the split backs. Fennec will be looking again to attack this nickel front, but no, it's going to be a delayed handoff. It's a draw. Churchill gets absolutely swarmed. Can't find his way for anything more than 2 yards.
Yeah, and, they're trying to get their run game more involved, which and I'm sure some fans in the stadium as they take the lead, and maybe more as I'm sure they appreciate it as they try and milk away some of the clock at least.
Another snap here, and there's so many blitzers coming. LA does not give Fennick any time to throw it. He just has to rifle it out of there, and the coverage made that fall to the turf.
Yeah, I mean, now you're in a forced throwing down again, like we've seen in this second half, this new Pittsburgh offense that has come out of the halftime tunnel. They're not afraid of throwing it deep down the field, especially to the right side.
Now we'll see a run in the middle. It's intercepted. LA answers back. This is going to be the status quo. LA will not allow themselves to get driven down by more than a score. They're determined to hang in there.
Yeah, and that is Brogan Sparaw who was able to pull that in. Someone in the past I've called the ultimate opportunist, a former huge player down in the SFL for New York, an award winner as well. Had plenty of pick sixes down there and taking his talent up to LA. A huge interception when it mattered the most in this game.
Now operating out of a strong eye set is Richardson. And he'll take a little shovel pass action. Looks like that's Dan Curtis who gets swallowed up. But look at the turnovers here. It's been some incredible numbers, and you have to remember that some of that is because we saw 2 turnovers on the same play.
Yeah.
This game has been bizarro world. Dericus Iniguez is still not back after being taken out on the first play he had a handoff for. But I think that's him being cited there. Is that him? No, that was number 32.
Might have been. Oh, okay. False hope, I fear.
False hope, I fear. That Dericus Iniguez is number 20. That was Tom Thickey, the other fullback on that carry. Catch him in the backfield, all alone. 4 receivers spreading the defense wide. 3rd and 9. Richardson with a do-or-die pass moment. And he will throw. It falls to the turf. Amante Dubois-Smith had his back turned because he was watching the receiver, and that bounces off his back plate.
Yeah, a lot of this is, we're seeing a lot of these plays where the interceptions aren't being made, is where the defensive backs are just playing the receiver. And that's something that happens in certain formations. It's either you're playing the ball or the receiver. In a lot of instances like that one, back is turned. But the play is still made.
Goes away, and this is a good return.
Oh my gosh.
Finding the edge, looking for the end zone. Could this be it? That's a punt 6. Pittsburgh finds the end zone again.
Wow, I can't even believe it. I thought there was no way in heck that Britton was going to be able to turn that into something. And he certainly proved me wrong. Britton, going to be his, he's into the 20s now in returns. He breaks one, breaks another, gets some blocks, slips to the right, breaks another, and then outruns the last, that's the kicker, John Smith, who punted it away. I can't believe that.
Having to break 3 tackles and then worm your way around the kicker just to find the end zone. Doug Britton, take a bow and go get some oxygen, man. Holy. Flipping the game on its head and really making things desperate for LA now. Pittsburgh kicks it up and good. 21-6, the home team pulling away. Folks, something else I want to talk about. I do get to brag on my baby. I am your SFLM commissioner when I'm not here in the booth. Tuesdays and Thursdays, typically, the SFLM is on BFN. Season 11 is underway and resumes this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern with the New York Gargoyles and Anchorage Wolves. On Thursday, that's October 2nd, it's Birmingham hosting San Jose and Philadelphia at San Diego. See the stars of the SFL tomorrow right here on the Virtual Football Network. See a return here from Joe Bodette, and what does LA need to do to get back into this one?
I mean, you just need some more explosive plays like we saw from Pryor previously, especially with Iniguez out. This statement rings even louder, but you can't keep running the ball, especially now that the fourth quarter is going to hit. You need some explosive plays to happen and some more clean football. Keep it away from the defenders.
We see a pass downfield. That's caught. One broken tackle. And there's a good job by Bubba Tree to move the chains, not giving up one bit, no how.
Yeah, certainly not at all. You see him slanting across the field, and if you saw there for a moment, there was another drag going across the field, which drew the attention of the linebacker inside. And there was also a little fade route that was going through the same zone as that slant that had produced across the field, so left him wide open across the full formation.
Now from the 41-yard line, it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Dan Curtis doesn't find much more than a single hole to run through, finds it, hits it, gets 5 yards as he lowers his shoulder. That's why they gave him the neck.
Yeah, certainly needs it with the way they're running at this point and the way they're barreling through people. And
look
yeah,
at it.
oh man, here we go.
That's a tight box car crash coming, folks. Do you hear the steam whistle of 2 trains headed at each other at high speed? Buckle up. Ketchum trying to find some space, can't get anywhere behind his own blockers, gets knocked down to the ground, but somehow falls forward to get 3.
And who else made that hit but Odette Boudreau involved again?
An absolute menace, and that is your third quarter in the books. Get the 4s up in chat, folks. Pittsburgh looking to defend the bird 21-6 over LA. SFL action here on the VFN. I'm Alex West. He's DJ Kilgannon with Jadoobie Doo and Zach Holdorf in the stats truck. Cam Irvine in the production truck, pushing all those buttons, making us sound great. Pass over the middle here for Richardson, who makes a falling catch. Look at that effort. Chris Lee just makes it look easy.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very athletically gifted catch. Falling, still being able to pull it in.
He'll get an injury
Ouch.
update. Unfortunately, Derek Iniguez is going to be out for the rest of the game with a torn bicep. So Ace Ketchum will have to carry the load all the way to the end to see how LA manages. Split backs here. 2 receivers to the left-hand side. One going in motion. Now it's a double barrel situation, 1 on each, and we have a score update. Baltimore, Minnesota went final hand up the gut here. Dan Curtis finds a massive hole and gets across the chain marker before even being dragged down.
Yeah, that was a terrifically designed run. I mean, Monzuma had to track him down well past the second level.
Getting distracted, trying to do too many things at once, folks. Settling in. Minnesota triumphant over Baltimore, 34-20, the final score on the other block. 9 minutes to go here in the fourth. Richardson looking to lead a comeback charge. And he heaves this one downfield, finds LZ Pryor in space on the hash mark with a step. And that will put them inside the red zone.
LZ Pryor getting involved again. That catch putting him well past the century. And a really nicely drawn up seam route that had the, inside box defender kind of trailing as the route was able to go upfield, and that just gave Sully the chance to split those over the top safeties.
And a fun step there. Pryor now over the century mark, back up that Brinks check. That's a payday. Oh no! Absolutely obliterated is Sully Richardson. Thank you, Cameron Duty, for giving us the beautiful tagline of that. Holy mama!
A bash, a clash, and a car crash. Craven just destroying Richardson. You see the play action handoff. He turns and all he sees is a big number 55 barreling in his direction. That'd give me nightmares for the next 2 years.
Well, Richardson doesn't have time to go to dreamland and doesn't have therapy time either. He's got to lead a comeback. Oh! No! The trauma is there. It's intercepted, and there's a drug bracket. Could go all the way, but no. Wildies pushes the Pittsburgh Hog out of the field of play. What on earth is this football game, man?
Wow. One thing I got to say, Brock Busey, the one who picks that one off, credit to that young man for not fumbling the interception that time. Odette Boudreau gets out in front, lays a huge block. Might as well get her on the offensive line, too. And Busey, a huge play, which ensures LA doesn't score any more points in this instance at least, and gives your offense a chance to put up more.
Really feels like an absolute liver shot to LA. They're going to have to recover quickly by forcing a 3-and-out quickly. They cannot allow Pittsburgh to extend the lead if they want to stay in this. Pittsburgh looking to do what they can with a weak eye set. Fennick being asked to throw the football. Quick hitter timing route to Ziggy Chronic that almost gets picked off.
Yeah, that one was just way too tight of a pass. There's no reason to get that risky. Certainly not whenever you need to run the clock out now that you have a lead and you have the tools to do so.
What a stat line. 5 interceptions today so far for Fennick. And yet his team is up. He's grateful for his teammates right now as he rolls out, finds Keith Wheeler for his second reception downfield of the day. More catches than carries, Keith Wheeler, and he doesn't care.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't, and especially whenever the receptions are producing that much. Both have been well past the sticks, and both have gained significant chunks of yardage as well.
Clock now at about 7.5 minutes left to play. Pittsburgh electing to adopt a continued air attack despite how much they're up. Interesting decisions here, but all the same, it's working so far. Who am I to knock it? Ziggy Chronic going in motion here. Doug Britton on the other side of the equation, split backfield. It's a handoff up the middle. Churchill, full, trying to push left to right, but only able to get 2 yards as he's met in the hole.
Yeah, blew that one up completely, but it's fine as the clock is going to continue away, and it's only second down. You still have plenty of opportunities to keep ahead of the sticks.
Another instance for Fennick.
Oh, my goodness.
Almost throws an interception. Wyo really wanted that one. I know he's high-fiving his teammate, but you know what he's saying in his head, and it's not appropriate for air.
If that interception, I'll save that in case it does happen, because if Pittsburgh keeps throwing the ball, it just might.
Ace Fennick under center with 3 receivers to his left, pushes 1 to the other side, so now it's 2 and 2, single back. Dime look for LA. Everyone in the stadium knows it's going to be a pass. Fennick rolling to his left with time. The pocket's there. Chronic underneath in the soft spot. A linebacker was underneath trying to make the interception, could not do it, and instead Pittsburgh gets a first down.
Yeah, a beautifully constructed route tree there, and that's just a matter of, teams so often do it in this league especially, is run the levels concept. You see the drag coming underneath, the cross over the top, just making the linebacker choose, and it's so hard to whenever you're talented enough to sail it over the linebacker's head protected.
Handoff up the gut here. Pittsburgh looking to finally work the clock. What a shoulder thrown by Mike Churchill. That's some big man adult behavior.
Yeah, sure is. It's like playing with the kids in the backyard, barreling over him, stiff arming him to the turf as he does so. A yard away from 300 now is Pittsburgh offense. It's crazy to look back at the first quarter now at this point, Alex.
I couldn't have imagined this being where we were at based on what the first quarter was having us. Bullet throwing a stiff arm, looking for the end zone, trying to get there. Wyo with the chase down somehow does it. And it took 2 people to do it. First and goal, Riverhogs.
Yeah, Blitz, of course, a big power back. You see that stiff arm and a great block by the receiver out on the edge to seal it completely. And then eventually drags 2 defenders towards the end zone and just a yard shy, as I'm sure we'll have someone come in and clean it up shortly on a run. Will it be Churchill to give him double digits?
Could be. We'll see. Who will it be, though? I can't tell from the nameplate from this angle. That's a 20. It's Churchill. It's going to be a pass, though. Tight coverage, and there it is. Touchdown. First one of the day through the air. Ben Harrison on the reception. Ace Fennick breathes a sigh of relief. That's a second of the day that he's managed.
Yep, and that is Ben Harrison's second touchdown of the season as well. That one being successful. A very risky pass, a little bit behind the receiver, but not behind enough for the defender to get in there and make a play on it. A risk throwing it in that instance of the field. I certainly, if it wasn't successful, I'd certainly be criticizing them right now, but it did. And they know more than me. That's why I'm not a coach, and that's why they are such a successful team.
And that's why they're coming up daisies in this one, despite everything going wrong that possibly could in the first half. Remember, Ace Fenix started the first half with no touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Heck, just coming into this drive, he was 12 of 29 and 1 touchdown against 5 interceptions coming into this one. What a performance he has put up despite everything going the other way to start things off.
Yep.
Richardson under center, trying to get the Lycans back in this. It is now or never. Do or die. He wants to make it he wants to go to 2 and 5. He'll throw to the left side, almost intercepted. Looking at the black jerseys swarming that side of the field just makes the heart stop.
Yeah, it sure does, because they have just been infectious. All parts of their defense, all levels, the defensive backs, the linebackers, the defensive line have all done things that have really made them all deserving of game balls in their own right.
We're going to talk about bend but don't break. Let's not oversell the fact that all 6 of LA's points have come on the first 2 drives off of short interceptions. That's all interception thrown, and this is Amante Dubois-Smith snagging, getting a forced fumble, and now an interception. This man needs to take a bow. Is he our rookie of the season?
It wouldn't shock me. He's used to winning those big awards. SFLM Season 10 Defensive Player of the Season for the San Jose Flight, and bringing that talent up here to Pittsburgh, certainly looking like one of the best rookies we have seen as far as this season goes. I mean, just complete dominance. One of the top 2 leading tacklers on the squad, and continues to produce with a huge interception there, which I'd argue is one of a couple nails that have now been punched into the coffin of LA.
Feels like, barring some miracle, that was the final nail, but it does mean that it's time to chew some clock at the very least. Opportunities to make mistakes abound. Churchill not even able to pick up a yard, as LA is going to sell out to stop the run. Why would Pittsburgh do anything else? Why would you expect anything else?
Why would they? But I feel like we've said that a lot, and yet they still pass. Like, right. I mean, that goal line instance, they went with a pass, and now they have 2 wide. Anything could happen at this point.
32 pass attempts to 22 runs. This will make it 23 runs. Number 23 going up the gut, only getting 4 yards here. And I just can't really emphasize how impressed I am with Pittsburgh's resiliency and ability to respond to adversity at home.
Yeah, we talked about adaptability and flexibility a little bit earlier on in this game. They've done such a good job of using both of those to be able to bounce back very well come second half. It seems like they've just been a whole new team after that break.
Wheeler shuffling over to make it a strong eye Joker set. 4-3, but an extra defender in the box for LA. It's going to be a run to the right side. Ketchum tries to shoot the B gap, but gets whacked in the hole.
Yeah, we look at the splits of turnovers for Pittsburgh. Only 1 of their interceptions coming after the half. All the ones before that, before the half, and that just shows, I think, how well they've been able to bounce back, especially keeping a pass-first attack.
Only that, considering how well they've done. Now, despite 5 interceptions by Ace Fenix, Pittsburgh has more takeaways. That is a stat line that tells me how decisive this defense has been. Kick this time is going to go up 4th and 3. Pittsburgh settles, but who and what cares whenever you're up by this much with this little on the clock? 3's fine.
Yeah, and that one just barely slipping in past the left upright. It's fading a little bit, but does go through and extends the lead of Pittsburgh to 25 now.
He left a sheet construction paper. With how
hey,
much
if it's in, it's in.
Yeah, with how much wind we were seeing, we saw a doink earlier that would have put LA up by 2, but instead, that feels like the moment where the wheels fell off for the Lycans. Whenever that could have been their opportunity to make it a 2-score game, to really emphasize that their defense was establishing and setting a tone early. Instead, where are we now? Pittsburgh running away.
Yep, and running, hopefully they will be doing. LA just going to have to try and get something going offensively, hoping to maybe get a touchdown on the game. Still haven't seen them able to produce one. And I think that is a storyline you'll have to look back on in future weeks, talking about LA in this game. Your defense able to force 5 interceptions at the hands of Ace Finnick, and you still weren't able to turn any of them into touchdowns.
Couldn't agree more. Pass up the middle on the seam route. Dan Curtis with the reception. The fullback looking like a tight end, but looking like a graceful one at that. Now it's a hurry up for the Lycans, trying to take advantage of this opportunity they see. Passing to the right side, and there's a hit leg looking Curtis's way again. Nothing doing. You can make completions to the fullback, typically because they're not looking at him.
Yeah, and that time is just all over it. And they're certainly playing with a bit of urgency, as you see with the hurry up. But once you're stuck in a formation like that, playing hurry up, it's only going to make further plays harder.
Playing pass over the middle this time in tight windows. It's a catch above a tree on the reception. They're moving the chains, hurrying it up. Strong eye set against that 4-3. And this time pressure coming. And Sully Richardson gets blasted back.
Sure does. And that rough hit, made the ball come out of the sack, bounced off the head of a defensive lineman and sailed to the ground like a shot duck. And now LA again in a 2nd and 10. An instance where their previous pass attempt unsuccessful. Now they got to bounce back again. Quads look now, though.
And now you got one of hunts and ducks. 2nd and 10. Quads. Richardson throws, hits a one-on-one route. LZ Pryor cannot bring that one in, though. He's out of position just because the defender stands where he was looking to run.
Yeah, LZ has been targeted a dozen times in this game, more than any other Lycan on the offense, which is kind of a little bit shocking.
Empty backfield here. Trips to the left, 2 to the right. What will Richardson do? He throws up the seam, and oh no! LZ Pryor gets lit up and can't haul that one in.
Yeah, now it's do or die now. If you want an offensive touchdown in this game, you're past midfield, but with how Pittsburgh's defense has been playing, I feel like it's going to be tough, if not impossible.
Bend but don't break. They've given up a little over 200 yards so far today, and that will flip the field. Incredible work by Ness Genkel, and that's the final nail. All Pittsburgh needs to do now is run out the clock by hammering run after run and getting first downs. What a play by Ness Genkel. Absolutely laying the wood on the attempted reception. Yeah. LZ Pryor couldn't come up with that one either.
Yeah, Genkel has been lighting up the virtual field this week. Had a fantastic week of play down in the SFLM, where they had a pair of interceptions. And now in this game, forcing that interception, which gives your offense the ball back, and should be the last drive of the game if Pittsburgh doesn't score too quickly and keeps the ball in their hands. We are going to have the freebie timeout, of course. Now LA still has their triple timeouts. So, they might get the ball back, but if Pittsburgh plays it right, of course, this should be it.
Does feel like the final seconds are just ticking away. And I don't know how much we can really say that the loss of Derrickis Iniguez really set the tone here, but at the same time, it's hard to say that his absence was not felt as we reach that 2-minute warning, especially considering that LA had 2 drives where they got interceptions off of Ace Finnick right away, extremely short fields. They started their first drive at the 20-yard line and then their second drive at the 25-yard line. Got 1 total yard out of those 2 drives, had to settle for field goals both times. You gotta ask, if my number 1 back was there, would I have gotten something? Surely I'd have gotten more than 1 yard. 3rd down here, another timeout called. Rather, LA's first timeout. So now Pittsburgh wanting to pick this one up so they can put this one to bed. 3rd and 5. Do you call a run or do you call a pass?
Probably pass, just to make sure you stay ahead of the sticks. If they are in offset eye, they'll run.
Churchill is the man. They know he can do it. He averages 5 yards. He gets 7 yards there. That forces LA to burn their second timeout just as Pittsburgh moves to the chains. 1st and 10. This game has been one to remember because it has been the weirdest game I have ever had the pleasure of calling.
Yeah, it's certainly up there for me as strange goes. I mean, especially looking back at the first quarter, how odd it was, how these offenses were producing, and then the complete 180 to where now Pittsburgh is looking very sustainable.
Churchill breaking one tackle, trying to wrap him in the backfield, gets hit. Second guy brings him down. Cornerback finally wrestles him to the turf after he gets about 4, I believe. LA forced to use their 2nd of 3. And they're going to ask Churchill to run it once again. If you're giving your bell cow a breather, why not? Goal line formation. 5 yards to go. Right side, Churchill shoots through the gap. Gets ahead of Keith Wheeler, who can't even throw a lead block for him before he's at 4 yards. 3rd and 1 here.
And they're just 1 yard away from, I mean, pretty much ending this ball game.
LA will, recognizing the situation, they're not going to actually use their timeout until this play happens one way or the other. That's when we'll see them use it. Scratch that, we're actually at 0 timeouts. That's why I didn't see him call it. Up the gut we go. Pittsburgh gets this one. That will be it. Bullett's being asked to make it, and he can't. He gets battered down and dragged down to the backfield, but with this little clock, it's a too little, too late moral victory type of stand for the defense.
Yep, now you'll see another field goal as the play clock ticks and ticks away and the life bleeds out of LA just a bit more. And then, of course, you will see LA's offense back on the field maybe for a few plays, maybe just running out the clock, or, you know, if they do want that moral victory like the aforementioned, maybe a Hail Gary downfield or 2.
Boudreaux will be forced to kick as the play clock isn't enough to wind down the game clock. They will set it up, and it is wide. Boudreaux too far away, going from right to left, and this one looks like she just shanked it.
Well, and, you know, if you're LA, I guess you can look at that as a positive to maybe look at, especially if you're John Smith, you're like, okay, it's not just me. Maybe the wind's a little bit harsh, as that one does sail the same way.
Even the home kicker having some problem, folks. Monday, Cameron Irvine and Charles Doherty are back for the Monday Night Spectacular. This week, it's a battle of fresh starting quarterbacks Skylar Christian and Isaac Covert, leaving Queen City and Florida, respectively, into a battle in the crucial midseason tilt. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. As there's a shot taken downfield, that's one last time to remind you, folks, we are the SFL, and the SFL lives on the Virtual Football Network. 15 seconds to go. Richardson with 3 more downs to his name, unless he can get one to complete here and pick up another set. No timeouts to work with though, so if he gets one, it better be out of bounds. Over the middle, incomplete. LZ Pryor gets hit hard.
Who else?
Who else? Get ADS an ice bath. He better have a nameplate above one of those for him. Yeah, he's earned it. Ace quads. Dime odd. Pittsburgh looking to send the home crowd happy. They're already partying, and that's almost intercepted. That's Genko looking for that one.
Yeah. Now we're going to see another play from LA, and then, you know, if they don't successfully gain 10, they're going to run away the clock, or we'll see a final kneel down from Pittsburgh. We'll see the quads look, though.
One last gasp. One last tilt. Do not go gently into that good night. To the outside, Chris Lee can't find the sideline. A hurry up, but the clock strikes zeros. That's your ball game, folks. Pittsburgh on top, advancing to 6-2. LA entering the at this point now 1-6. It's a rough season so far for the Lycans. DJ, tell me about how you feel this one really wound up and who's your player of the game.
Man, I mean, how it wound up was just odd. I mean, that's the best word I can use to describe it. LA just not performing in any facet as they should. Their passing, I mean, was working some to finish out the game as those final quarter and a half were successful through the air. Their rush attack was non-existent. Of course, the turnovers and scoring off the turnovers were very lacking. As far as the player of the game goes, I feel like it's got to be a defender. Someone on Pittsburgh's side. And on the stat sheet it doesn't jump out, but if you watch back and let the eye test determine it, Odette Boudreaux was all over the place, dude.
I can't even be mad at Boudreaux's pick, but with respect to the defensive line and the pest that she was, my pick is ADS himself. The man had a pass deflection, an interception, a forced fumble, and was flying out there. Folks, This has been a fun game to call. I'm Alex West. He's DJ Kilgannon. In the stats truck, we had Zach Holdorf and Jadoobie Doo. For Karen Irvine, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great night.
Peace.